Wonderful people, viewers and subscribers. Good morning, good afternoon and good evening, depending on your location. Another information don't drop. From my right hand side here is Dr. Barrister Aloysius Ejimako. Yes. Then on my left hand side here is Nigerian newspapers online. We have one here which is Daily Post. US and Israel is directly or indirectly actively working to free Nnamdi Kanu, the T leader. That is what I cannot mention for because they have nothing to do with Nnamdi Kanu. They're also working for the actualization of Biafra. Why the international community have a plan to visit Sokoto Correctional Facility. So Hausa and Fulani newspaper. You know what they said? Dialogue is the way out. But your own fellow brothers and sisters is telling you Nnamdi Kanu need to be buried. Outsiders see the good in Nnamdi Kanu, while his own brothers do not see any good about him. Okay, let us hear from Aloy Ejimako about the success of the 100 men. They say the 100 men have started work already and they have recorded success. According to him, he said, Nnamdi Kanu lawyers report the 100 men achievement as Kanu revealed appeal strategy. U.S. lawmaker is the one pushing all this. That 100 men, let me also make a kind of a leak small secret for you. A lot of, let's say majority of that 100 men are all working in United States of American government. Both in local level, in county level, in state level, and in federal level. Most of them are retired veterans, whether in the military, in the navy, or every other security architecture or outfit out there in the United States of America. Okay, let me just play this clip for you so that you will understand where I'm coming from and where I'm going. This one is just similar to what is happening now. The reporter reported based on his own kind of way, his own way of reporting. So I myself also reported my own way of reporting. Daily Trust also have also reported their own way. Everybody must not sound the same way. But the fact that you see, man, we are chasing the same thing. We are going the same way. We are moving at the same level. We are moving at the same track. The independence state of Biafra. Listen to Aloy Ejimako and then drop your own take at the comment section.
Around Nnamdi Kanu is taking another serious turn, and this update is very important. Situation around Nnamdi Kanu is taking another serious turn, and this update is very important because it is not just about what has already happened, but what may happen next. His legal team has come out to explain that they have made strong progress, and what they are calling a major achievement is the fact that the appeal process is now fully active and moving forward properly within the law. This means the case is no longer at the stage of arguments or complaints alone. It has entered a higher legal level where everything that happened before will now be reviewed again very carefully. Before we go deeper, make sure you like this video and subscribe, because this kind of update you don't want to miss as things continue to unfold. Now, what this really means in simple English is that his lawyers have already submitted all the necessary documents to challenge the previous judgment. They have officially told the higher court that they are not satisfied with how the earlier decision was reached, and they want it to be looked at again. And this is where it becomes very interesting. Because when a case moves into appeal, it is no longer about emotions or public opinion. It becomes a serious legal review. The judges at this level will look at whether the law was properly followed, whether the process was fair, and whether the final decision was correct based on the law. So right now, the strategy from his legal team is very clear. They are focusing on key areas they believe can change everything. One of those areas is whether the court that handled the case had the full authority to do so. Another issue they are raising is whether he was given...
I just saw a post now from X, one Isa Ahmed Osman. He says, and I quote, that the US is truly poking hands into Nigeria eyes. by trying to negotiate for the release of IPOB tea leader. And according to them, he said the international community is already live in Sokoto Correctional Center. But there is a fracas going on that place now. It seems like they were not allowed to go in to visit Nnamdi Kanu. Okay. We will see the full story from other sister network. Let us just continue with the one at hand.
Enough opportunity to defend himself properly during the trial. And this part is very important because in law, even if someone is accused of something serious, the process must still be fair. If the process is not fair, it can affect the final judgment. So what they are doing now is building strong legal arguments to show that there were issues in how the trial was conducted and that those issues should be enough for the higher court to take a different decision.
Okay.
If you're following this gist closely, just take 1 second now and like this video and subscribe because more updates are still coming.
Okay.
Now, another dimension that is making this case even more serious is the international attention it is getting. There are indications that some lawmakers outside Nigeria, especially in the United States, are beginning to show interest in the situation.
Okay.
This kind of involvement does not mean they control what will happen, but it can bring more attention and more pressure. When international figures start paying attention to a case, it often makes the whole situation bigger than just one country. And you should understand that this case has always had global interest because of the background.
Okay.
The group linked to him, Indigenous People of Biafra, has been pushing for a separate state for many years. That idea itself is very sensitive because it connects to the history of Nigeria, especially events like the Nigerian Civil War. So this is not just about one person alone, it connects to a bigger story that has existed for decades. Now, let's bring it back to the present situation. At this stage, the appeal process will follow a clear path. His legal team will present all their arguments in detail. The government will also respond and defend the earlier judgment. Then the court will take time to review everything before fixing a date to hear the case. And after all that, the court will give a final decision on the appeal. Now, listen carefully to this part, because this is where everything can change. There are only a few possible outcomes. The court may decide that the earlier judgment was correct, and in that case, nothing changes. The court may also decide to adjust the decision, which could mean reducing the sentence. Or the court may completely disagree with the earlier judgment, and that could lead to a full reversal. That last option is what many of his supporters are hoping for. But at the same time, there are also people who believe the earlier decision should stand. So as you can see, opinions are divided. Some people feel strongly about national unity and security, and they believe the law should take its full course. Others feel the process should be looked at again to ensure fairness and justice. And this is why the appeal is very important, because it will not just affect him alone, it will also send a message about how such cases are handled in the country.
Okay.
If you are still watching at this point, don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because this story is still developing and you need to stay updated. Now, let's talk about what this means for the future. This appeal process may take time because legal matters at this level are usually very detailed. Every argument will be examined carefully, and both sides will try to make the strongest case possible. But one thing is certain, this is not a small case that will just end quietly. The attention it is getting means that whatever decision is made will be widely discussed. And for many people, the outcome will either strengthen their belief in the system or raise more questions. So, right now, the focus is on the legal arguments being prepared and presented. His lawyers are confident in their strategy, and they believe they have strong points to raise. On the other side, the government is also expected to defend the earlier decision strongly. So, it is a situation where both sides are preparing for a serious legal battle. Now, let me ask you directly, and I want you to really think about it. Do you believe the appeal will change the outcome, or do you think the earlier decision will remain? Drop your opinion, and while you're doing that, like this video and subscribe so you...
Okay. What do you think? Drop your opinion in the comment section. Everybody wants the best for Nnamdi Kanu, and everybody wants Nnamdi Kanu to regain his freedom full stop. But the people who are supposed to be doing all these things or working hand in hand to make sure that all these things come in place. They were nowhere to be found. All of them now are talking about next year election 2027. P2B is jumping like Akuna from one brutal to another. Abaribe is jumping from one brutal to another like Akuna. These are the people who claim to be fighting for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. I will not be surprised if by next week, next 2 weeks, or even ending of this year now, I see them now, all of them now will come out with full force now, begin to talk about Mazen Nnamdi Kanu because election cycle is very close. I don't gaslight us too much, but this time around, it's not going to work. I urge each and every one of us, anything that got to do with Nigerian election, my brother, Biko, we do sit at home. Civil disobedience is the best. No rancor. No come and give accountability of whether how you vote or how you did not vote. We are not for them and they are not for us. We have made this stand, we have made our stand very clear. So any other thing they are trying to add or subtract from what we have initially agreed is dead on arrival. In fact, it is null and void. And that is the information. Have a nice day. We don't have much time to read comments. Maybe on our next video, we are going to still read more comments. But share this message and let it go viral. We are winning the fight against the zoo. And it is well with all our soul. Kachideke meziokwu.